The Discovery captain Alina Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, watching the dead planet slowly rotate beneath them. The brown and grey surface showed no signs of life, just endless rocky plains and dried ocean beds. She had been exploring deep space for 15 years, but something about this planet in the Kepler 442 system felt different. Alina was 42 years old, with short black hair and sharp green eyes. She had joined the United Earth Space Command when she was 25, working her way up from junior officer to captain of one of humanity's most advanced exploration vessels. The Prometheus was 3 kilometers long and carried a crew of 800 scientists, engineers, and explorers. Captain called Dr. Marcus Chen from his science station. Marcus was the ship's chief xenobiologist, a tall man with graying hair and thick glasses. He had spent his entire career studying the possibility of alien life. The surface scans are showing something unusual in the northern hemisphere. Alina walked over to look at his screen. The scanner showed what looked like geometric patterns, buried under centuries of dust and sand. "How unusual?" she asked. "Very unusual," Marcus replied, his voice filled with excitement. "These patterns are too regular to be natural. They look like ruins of some kind, but they're massive, much larger than anything humans have ever built." Lieutenant Sarah Webb looked up from her communications station. Sarah was 28 years old, with blonde hair and bright blue eyes. She was one of the best communications specialists in the fleet. "Captain, should I inform Earth Command about this discovery?" Alina thought for a moment. Earth was over 400 light-years away, and it would take months for any message to reach them. "Not yet," she decided. "Let's find out what we're dealing with first. Dr. Chen, prepare a landing team. I want to see these ruins for myself." 2 hours later, Alina stood on the planet's surface wearing a protective suit. The air was thin and cold, but breathable for humans. The ruins stretched out before them like an ancient city, with towers and structures that reached toward the sky. Everything was made of a strange metallic material that seemed to shimmer in the pale sunlight. "This is incredible," Marcus said, running his scanner over one of the structures. "These buildings are at least 50,000 years old, maybe older, but the technology used to build them is far beyond anything we understand." Alina touched one of the walls. It felt warm despite the cold air. "Any signs of who built this place?" "No bodies or remains," Marcus replied. "But there are machines here, Captain. Lots of them. And they're still functional." Elena's heart began to beat faster. Finding working alien technology was every explorer's dream. "Show me." Marcus led them into one of the larger buildings. Inside, they found rooms filled with strange devices that hummed with energy. Crystal panels covered the walls, glowing with soft light. In the center of the main room sat a massive computer system that seemed to be analyzing everything around. It's beautiful," Sarah whispered, looking around in wonder. "It's more than beautiful," Marcus said, his scanner beeping rapidly. "It's studying us. This computer system is learning about us just as we're learning about it." Alina approached the main console. The moment she touched it, the crystals began to glow brighter and symbols appeared on the screens. "It's responding to us," she said. "Can we communicate with it?" Marcus worked quickly with his equipment. "I think so. The computer seems to be using mathematical principles that are similar to ours. Give me a few hours, and I might be able to establish basic communication." Alina nodded. "Do it, but be careful. We don't know what this technology is capable of." For the next 6 hours, Marcus and his team worked to understand the alien computer system. Alina watched as they slowly made progress, learning to interpret the symbols and understand the basic functions of the machines. The technology was incredibly advanced, but it was also designed to be user-friendly, as if its creators wanted others to learn from it. "Captain," Marcus said finally, "I think I've figured out what this place is. It's not just a city. It's a library and a workshop. The creators of this technology left it here for others to find and learn from." "What kind of technology?" Alina asked. "Everything," Marcus replied, his voice filled with amazement. "Faster than light. Travel, energy generation, materials, science, even biological enhancement. It's like they wanted to give other species the tools to advance themselves." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. Why would they do that? "I don't know," Marcus admitted. "But Captain, we need to study this. This technology could change everything for humanity." Alina made her decision. "Set up a research base. I want teams working around the clock to understand this technology. But remember, we're explorers first. We study, we learn, but we don't take anything without understanding it completely." The crew of the Prometheus worked for 3 weeks to establish their research base. They set up temporary buildings around the ruins and began the careful process of studying the alien technology. Alina was amazed by what they discovered. The technology was not only advanced, but also intuitive. It seemed designed to help other species understand and use it. Dr. Chen made breakthrough after breakthrough. The alien computers contained vast databases of scientific knowledge, including theories about physics and chemistry that were centuries ahead of human understanding. The crew began to experiment with some of the simpler technologies, learning to create new materials and energy sources. Captain Sarah called from her station one morning. "I'm detecting ships approaching the system. Multiple vessels, moving faster than light." Alina rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, she could see 12 ships dropping out of hyperspace near the planet. They were sleek and silver, about 2 kilometers long each, with designs unlike anything in human records. "First contact," Alina whispered. This was the moment every space explorer dreamed of and feared. Sarah tried to establish communication. Use the standard peaceful greeting protocols. Sarah worked at her station, sending out mathematical sequences and basic symbols. After several minutes, a response came back. The alien ships were communicating, but their message was not what Alina expected. "Captain," Sarah said, her voice worried, "they're not responding to our greeting. They're sending what appears to be a demand for surrender." Alina frowned. "Are you sure? The computer is translating their message now," Sarah replied. "They're ordering us to power down our weapons and prepare to be boarded. They're treating us like criminals." On the lead alien ship, Commander Zarthik stood in his command center watching the human vessel on his screens. Zarthik was a member of the Corvani Empire, a race of tall, thin beings with blue skin and large eyes. The Corvani had been exploring the galaxy for over 10,000 years, and they had encountered many primitive species. Science Officer Veltar Zarthik called to his subordinate, "What can you tell me about these creatures?" Veltar was smaller than Zarthik, with silver markings on his blue skin that indicated his scientific rank. "They appeared to be a young species, Commander. Their ship is crude but functional. They seem to have basic faster-than-light capability, and they're looting the precursor ruins," Zarthik said with disgust. "Just like all the other primitive species we've encountered. They find ancient technology and try to steal it without understanding what they're dealing with. The Corvani Empire had been searching for precursor ruins for centuries. The precursors were an ancient race that had disappeared long ago, leaving behind only their advanced technology. The Corvani considered themselves the rightful inheritors of this technology, and they did not appreciate other species interfering with their research. Commander Veltar said, studying his sensors, "These humans seem to have been here for several weeks. They've established some kind of research facility." Zarthik's anger grew. "They're contaminating the site. Send the standard demand for surrender. If they comply, we'll relocate them to a safe distance. If they resist, we'll use force." Back on the Prometheus, Alina read the translated message from the aliens. They were demanding that the humans leave the planet immediately and surrender any technology they had taken from the ruins. The message was polite but firm, and it made one thing clear: the aliens considered the ruins to be their property. "Captain," Marcus said urgently, "we can't just leave. We're on the verge of major breakthroughs. This technology could solve humanity's energy problems, advance our space travel capabilities, and open up new worlds for colonization." Alina understood his frustration, but she also understood the danger they were in. The alien ships outnumbered the Prometheus 12-1, and they had no way of knowing what weapons the aliens possessed. "Sarah, open a channel to the lead alien ship," Alina ordered. "It's time for humanity's first diplomatic conversation with an alien species." A few minutes later, the main screen showed the image of Commander Zarthik. Alina was struck by how different he looked from humans, but she could see intelligence in his large eyes. "I am Captain Alina Vasquez of the United Earth ship Prometheus," she said clearly. "We come in peace and seek only to learn." Zarthik studied the human captain. She was much smaller than a Corvani, with strange hair covering her head and tiny eyes. But there was something in her manner that suggested she was not easily intimidated. "I am Commander Zarthik of the Corvani Empire," he replied. "You are trespassing on a sacred site. The precursor ruins belong to advanced civilizations, not to primitive species who would misuse the technology." Alina felt a flash of anger at being called primitive, but she kept her voice calm. "We are not primitive, Commander. We are explorers and scientists. We have studied the ruins carefully and with great respect." Zarthik was surprised by the humans' confident response. Most primitive species were intimidated by the appearance of Corvani ships. "You have been here for weeks," he said. "What have you learned?" Alina made a decision that would change the course of human history. "We have learned that the precursors wanted their technology to be found and studied. The computer systems are designed to teach, not to hide knowledge." Zarthik's expression changed to one of disbelief. "Impossible. The precursor technology is far beyond the understanding of primitive species. It takes advanced minds decades to comprehend even basic precursor concepts." "Then perhaps," Alina said quietly, "you should reconsider your definition of primitive." The resolution, the tension in space was thick as both fleets faced each other above the ancient planet. Alina stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, knowing that her next words could determine whether humanity's first contact with aliens would end in friendship or war. Commander Zarthik stared at the human captain on his screen. No primitive species had ever spoken to him with such confidence. "You claim to understand precursor technology," he said, his voice filled with skepticism. "Prove it." Alina looked at Dr. Chen, who nodded and moved to his station. "Dr. Chen, show them what we've learned." Marcus activated the ship's new energy systems they had developed by studying the precursor ruins. The Prometheus began to glow with a soft blue light as advanced energy fields surrounded the ship. The human vessel's shields became visible, rippling with power that the Corvani sensors had never detected before. On the Corvani command ship, Science Officer Veltar stared at his readings in disbelief. "Commander, their energy output has increased by 300%. They're using precursor-level technology." Zarthik felt a chill run through his blue skin. "How is that possible? They've only been here for 3 weeks. Elena's voice came through the communication channel. "Commander, we've not only learned to use precursor technology, we've found ways to improve it. The precursors designed their systems to be adaptable, to grow and evolve with each species that finds them." Zarthik contacted his fleet. "All ships maintain defensive positions, but do not fire. I need to understand what we're dealing with." Alina sensed the shift in the alien commander's attitude. "Commander, would you like to see what we've discovered? We invite you to visit our research facility. That would be acceptable," Zarthik replied carefully. "But I will bring security forces." "Of course," Alina said. "We would do the same." 2 hours later, Commander Zarthik stood in the main chamber of the precursor ruins, surrounded by human scientists and engineers. He was 7 feet tall, much taller than the humans, but he found himself looking up at them with new respect. Dr. Chen was explaining their discoveries to Veltar, the Corvani science officer. "The key breakthrough came when we realized that precursor technology responds to biological patterns. Each species that uses it will unlock different capabilities based on their unique neural structure." Veltar examined the human modifications to the precursor computers. "This is remarkable," he admitted. "We have studied precursor technology for centuries, but we never considered that it might adapt to different species." Alina watched the interaction between the two scientists. Despite their physical differences, she could see that they shared the same curiosity and excitement about discovery. "Commander Zarthik," she said, "perhaps our species could learn from each other." Zarthik was studying a device that the humans had created by combining precursor technology with their own innovations. It was a medical scanner that could diagnose and treat diseases at the cellular level. "Your species created this in 3 weeks?" he asked. "Actually," Elena replied, "we created it in 3 days. Once we understood the basic principles, our engineers were able to adapt the technology quickly." Zarthik looked at the human captain with new eyes. The Corvani had always prided themselves on their advanced technology and superior intellect. They had spent centuries studying precursor ruins and had made only slow progress. But these humans had achieved in weeks what the Corvani had struggled with for decades. "How?" he asked simply. Alina smiled. "Because we think differently. The Corvani approach precursor technology with respect and caution, trying to understand it exactly as it was designed. Humans approach it with curiosity and creativity, asking not just how it works, but how it could work better." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "Commander, we've discovered something else. The precursor databases contain genetic information about dozens of species. According to the records, both humans and Corvani share common ancestors with the precursors." Veltar's large eyes widened. "That's impossible. The precursors disappeared millions of years ago." "Not disappeared," Marcus corrected. "Evolved. They didn't leave the galaxy, they became part of it. Every species that develops intelligence carries part of their genetic heritage." Alina saw the impact of this revelation on the alien commander. "Don't you see, Commander? We're not competitors fighting over ancient technology. We're family, separated by space and time, but connected by our common heritage. Zarthik was quiet for a long moment, processing this information. His entire worldview was shifting. The Corvani Empire had always seen themselves as the most advanced species in the galaxy, destined to inherit precursor technology. But now he was seeing that advancement could take many forms. "Your species," he said to Alina, "you solve problems by breaking them apart and rebuilding them. The Corvani solve problems by understanding them completely before making any changes." "Both approaches have value," Alina nodded. "And together we might solve problems that neither of us could handle alone." Over the next several days, human and Corvani scientists worked side by side in the precursor ruins. The results were remarkable. The Corvani's deep understanding of precursor theory combined with human creativity and adaptability led to breakthroughs that amazed both species. They developed new propulsion systems that could travel faster than light without the dangerous energy requirements of previous designs. They created medical technologies that could extend lifespans and eliminate diseases. They even found ways to communicate across vast distances of space instantly. Lieutenant Sarah Webb was working with a Corvani communications specialist named Kevlar to develop the new communication system. The precursors used quantum entanglement to send messages, Kevlar explained. But we could never make the system stable enough for practical use. Sarah studied the equations on her screen. What if we don't try to make it stable? What if we use the instability as a feature instead of fighting it? Kevlar looked puzzled. "I don't understand." "Think of it like surfing," Sarah said, then realized the alien wouldn't understand the reference. "Like riding a wave instead of fighting the current. We let the quantum fluctuations carry our message instead of trying to control them." Within hours, they had developed a communication system that could send messages across the galaxy instantly. The first test message was sent from the planet to Earth, and the response came back in less than a second. Commander Zarthik watched the celebrations of both human and Corvani scientists. For the first time in his career, he felt true excitement about discovery. "Captain Vasquez," he said, "the Corvani Empire has made a decision." Alina looked at him with interest. "What kind of decision?" "We propose a formal alliance between our species," Zarthik announced. "Joint exploration missions, shared research, and mutual protection. The galaxy is vast, and there are many more precursor sites to discover." Alina felt a surge of joy. "I don't have the authority to make that decision for all of humanity, but I can promise you that Earth will be very interested in such an alliance." Dr. Chen looked up from his work. "Captain, we've made another discovery. The precursor databases contain star maps showing the locations of hundreds of other ruins throughout the galaxy. Some of them are in regions that neither humans nor Corvani have explored." Veltar was studying the maps. "These sites are in dangerous areas of space. Some are near black holes, others are in systems with unstable stars. It would take the combined resources of both our species to explore them safely." Alina saw the future spreading out before them. "Then we'll explore them together. Human ingenuity and Corvani wisdom, working as partners instead of competitors." Zarthik extended his long, thin hand to Alina. "Partners," he agreed, and they shook hands in the ancient human gesture of agreement. 6 months later, Captain Alina Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus as it traveled through hyperspace alongside 12 Corvani vessels. They were heading toward a precursor site near the galactic core, a journey that would have been impossible for either species alone. The combined human-Corvani fleet was equipped with the latest technology developed from their joint research. The ships could travel faster and safer than ever before, and they carried scientific equipment that could analyze phenomena that had previously been beyond understanding. "Captain," Sarah called from her station, "we're receiving a transmission." From the Corvani flagship, Elena smiled. Over the past months, she had developed a real friendship with Commander Zarthik. Despite their physical differences, they shared the same passion for exploration and discovery. "Put him through," Elena ordered. Zarthik's image appeared on the screen. "Captain Vasquez, our long-range sensors are detecting something unusual at our destination. The precursor site appears to be ... active." Elena felt her heart rate increase. "Active how? We're not sure," Zarthik admitted, "but it's generating energy signatures unlike anything we've seen before. It's almost as if it's been waiting for us." Elena looked around her bridge at her crew. They were the best and brightest that humanity had to offer, but they were also part of something larger now. The alliance with the Corvani had opened up possibilities that neither species could have imagined alone. "Then let's go see what it's been waiting for," Elena said. "After all, we're explorers. Finding the impossible is what we do." As the combined fleet approached the mysterious precursor site, Elena reflected on how much had changed since that first discovery. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and they had found not just allies, but family among the stars. The future was full of unknowns, but she was confident that whatever challenges lay ahead, humans and Corvani would face them together. The greatest adventures were still waiting to be discovered, and Elena Vasquez couldn't wait to find them.